Hello friends, I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 9th of December and we are going to deal with three very important topics which are in news. The first is oil and gas decarbonization charter. Actually, as we all know that the COP28 is ongoing in UAE, Dubai. Now there only we discussed about this charter. Now, what is this charter? This charter is aiming to decarbonize the oil and gas sector. Oil and gas production sector is again one of the carbon intensive sectors. From those sectors, particularly, we are aiming to reduce the carbon emissions. So, this charter is aiming at that. Multiple, I would say, state owned oil companies, like in India, state oil companies, ONGC. Likewise, there's this Rosneft in Russia. So multiple countries have state-owned oil companies. They have participated in this decarbonization charter, apart from multiple private players like Shell, British Petroleum, and all. So this is again an important aspect or important topic which is being, covered under the COP28 of UNFCCC. Then the second topic of today is going to be the National Automated Fingerprint Identification System (NAFIS). This NAFIS was launched in August last year, and now at more than 100 places this NAFIS is being implemented. Now, what is this NAFIS? As we can say, fingerprint identification system. Now, let's suppose there is an offender who has been caught in the state of Karnataka. Now, to know about the history of that offender, what the security forces will do, they will take the fingerprint of that person, and you know, in the past, if that person has committed any offense anywhere in the country, so that entire, I would say, data will be available with the security forces just by merely scanning the fingerprint of that offender. This is going to create seamless, I would say, information sharing with respect to law and order maintenance. This is what NAFIS is going to do. It is very much important from internal security point of view, adoption of technology in maintaining security of the country. And finally, the last topic which we are going to cover is Article 99 of UN Charter. Now, this is, I would say, a unique provision under the UN Charter where the UN Secretary General, who is considered to be the head of the UN, he is the chief administrative officer of the Secretariat, UN Secretariat, and considered to be the head of the UN. Presently, the person who is the UN Secretary General is named as Antonio Guterres. He has invoked Article 99 of the UN Charter. Now, what does Article 99 of UN Charter mean? It simply means that the United Nations Secretary General wants to draw attention to a very serious topic which has global concerns. And that topic presently is Israel Gaza standoff. Now, once this Article 99 is invoked by the UN Secretary General, it is mandatory for the UN Security Council to discuss about a mandatory ceasefire in that region which is under consideration. It should be understood that it is not an obligation to implement the ceasefire, but it is an obligation to discuss about implementing ceasefire. Now, in the discussions, if any of the permanent five members they veto it, obviously ceasefire will not be implemented. If the adequate amount of votes are not there polled for ceasefire, it will not be adopted. So, but Article 99 simply means that this resolution will be picked up for discussion. This is something which Article 99 is. So we should know that what is Article 99 of the UN Charter. It has also been adopted 4 times in the past. Okay. So it is like this. Now, the first topic we're going to cover today is the Oil and Gas Decarbonization Charter. Now, this Oil and Gas Decarbonization Charter at COP28, the president of COP28, Dr. Sultan Al Jaber, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and these two people, they announced that oil and gas decarbonization charter has to be adopted. Now, what is this charter going to be going to do? It is nothing but it will lead to less carbon emissions from the oil and gas sector. Oil and gas sector, as we know, it is mined first of all from the oil fields. Then, you know, when it is mined, after that it is processed. It is processed. It is purified, or I would say, you know, uh, it goes through that particular process through which various fuels are extracted from the raw petroleum. Like, for example, raw petroleum taken out from the oil fields. So these are the oil fields. We take out raw petroleum, which is also called as crude oil. Now, this crude oil is processed. It goes through a process which we might have studied in class 10th, 11th, the oil I would say processing systems, where from this raw petroleum, various fuels like petrol, diesel, and kerosene or wax, all this is obtained. Now, this oil extraction from the oil fields is, emissions are there, and in this process also emissions are there. So it is a heavily carbon emitting sector. After the usage or after the burning of this particular fuels in various, I would say, sectors like industrial sector, these fuels are used in industries, or these fuels are used in vehicles, that pollution is separate. But yes, in the process of extracting petroleum, processing it, refining it into petrol, diesel, kerosene, wax, that particular sector or that particular domain is also very much carbon intensive. So oil and gas decarbonization charter talks about reducing emissions during these two processes: extraction of crude oil and then refining of crude oil. So it is like this is all mentioned in the oil and gas decarbonization charter. Now, about this oil and gas decarbonization charter, it is a dedicated initiative for oil and gas sector. It aims to reduce substantial impact in addressing climate challenges. Currently, 50 companies, collectively responsible for over 40% of global oil production, have committed to OGDCI. The national oil companies have also shown historic participation, constituting over 60% of the total signatories. National oil companies, example, ONGC. It is a public sector unit undertaking. Okay. It is integral. This oil and gas decarbonization charter is an integral part of the Global Decarbonization Accelerator, GDA. So, Global Decarbonization Accelerator aims at overall decarbonizing the atmosphere. It includes multiple sectors. One of these sectors is oil and gas sector. So, oil and gas decarbonization charter is an integral part of the Global Decarbonization Accelerator. We have to understand it in this way. Now, about global decarbonization deaccelerator. Sorry, it should have been accelerator, not deaccelerator. The accelerator will reduce the speed. It is global decarbonization accelerator. It should be considered this way. Now, it was introduced at the World Climate Action Summit. GDA focuses on three primary pillars. First is scaling the energy system of the future. Second is decarbonizing the present energy system. And third is addressing methane and other non-CO2 greenhouse gases. These three are the primary pillars of Global Decarbonization Accelerator. The strategic plan aims for a comprehensive and simultaneous transformation of both energy demand and supply. So, this is what it is. So, the oil and gas decarbonization charter, integral part of Global Decarbonization Accelerator. So global decarbonization accelerator focusing on three pillars: scaling the energy system of the future. What should be the energy systems of the future? Where there should be a mix of fossil-based and non-fossil-based fuel sources. Then decarbonizing the present energy system. We have to decarbonize it, means we have to reduce carbon emissions from it. Addressing methane and other non-CO2 greenhouse gases. So methane is some basically a greenhouse gas which has immense potential to cause global warming. It is short-lived, but it can cause immense greenhouse effect. And other non-CO2 greenhouse gases, there are other non-CO2 greenhouse gases like, for example, CFC is also considered as a greenhouse gas. Ozone is considered as a greenhouse gas. Or there's another greenhouse gas, PF6, perfluorocarbon, something like this, the name is. These are non-CO2 GHGs, non-CO2 greenhouse gases. So this global decarbonization accelerator focuses on that. Now, the next piece of news which we're going to discuss is National Automated Fingerprint Identification System. The Minister of State for Home Affairs in the Rajya Sabha during the ongoing winter session has submitted a report and has said that NAFIS has been installed at 1022 locations across the country. NAFIS is National Automated Fingerprint Identification System. It was launched last year in August. So within a span of, I would say, 1 year, 4 months, this has been implemented across 1022 locations. So what is NAFIS? What it is? NAFIS is basically, let's suppose a criminal who has been caught in, let's suppose, this state of Karnataka has committed a crime. Let's suppose drug selling he has done. And last year, in September, October, he was again involved in a crime, that is drug selling. But that time he was involved in the state of Uttar Pradesh, UP. Now, when we talk about this, so last year when he was caught in UP, his fingerprint was taken. NAFIS was implemented over there, and when his fingerprint was taken, all the records were manually input. Now this time when he has been caught in Karnataka, his fingerprint will be taken in Karnataka, and from that by taking merely that fingerprint only, all the data will be available with the security personnel. So that is what NAFIS is going to do: seamless information sharing. So this is what NAFIS is all about. So let's get into the details of it. It is a pan-India searchable database of crime and criminal related fingerprints. It is managed by Central Fingerprint Bureau. This National Fingerprint Bureau is under the National Crime Records Bureau, NCRB, based in New Delhi. It functions as a central information repository by consolidating fingerprint data from all states and union territories. It enables law enforcement agencies to upload, trace, and retrieve data from the database in real time on 24/7 basis. With the help of this, it is possible to locate a person of interest in a matter of minutes and connecting that individual's name to any active warrants, warnings, or information about related criminal conduct stored in another police information reference systems. So it is like this. Now, since it has been installed at 1022 locations, so this is getting diffused and seamless information sharing is being promoted. Now it assigns a unique 10-digit national fingerprint number for each criminal based on biometrics. The unique ID will be used for a lifetime of an offender. Different crimes registered under different FIRs will be logged as incidents belonging to the same national fingerprint number. So different crimes committed by that person, doesn't matter. All the crimes will be stored under that fingerprint ID. The first 2 digits of ID will be the state code where the criminal is registered, followed by a sequence number. The state partition will have IDs belonging to a state. So this is basically what it is and how it is going to work. And now, the last topic for today, that is Article 99 of the UN Charter. The UN Secretary Antonio Guterres used a rarely used power given to this UN Secretary General, who is considered to be the head of the United Nations, and that power is Article 99 of the UN Charter. This Article 99 of the UN Charter allows the UN head to raise issues that may threaten international peace and security. Now, once this Article 99 is invoked, It is mandatory for United Nations Security Council to hold a meeting and discuss about that concern for which that Article 99 has been invoked. It is only mandatory to hold a discussion. That discussion obviously will lead to, ceasefire and cessation of hostilities at that time. But will it definitely lead to ceasefire? No. This Article 99 is only mandating holding of a meeting to discuss ceasefire. Ceasefire will be adopted or not adopted will depend on multiple factors like no veto from the permanent 5 members on that resolution. Second of all, the minimum required votes given for, or mandated for adoption of that resolution has to be voted. Then only ceasefire will be implemented. But yes, this Article 99 gives the UN Secretary General, that is the head of the UN, the power to mandatorily hold that meeting in United Nations Security Council. This is about Article 99 of UN Charter. Now, if we have to know the background of this Article 99, the UN Charter is founding document of United Nations, first of all. Based on the powers conferred through it, the UN can take action on a wide variety of issues. It can be considered as kind of a constitution of United Nations. On that basis, the United Nations functions. The Charter is considered as an international treaty, meaning UN member states are bound by it. However, in practice, there is little that member countries can be forced to do according to the UN Charter. But largely, it is considered as an international treaty and that has to be, respected by the members. Now, Article 99 of UN Charter, what it is a special political tool that allows the UN Secretary General to call a meeting of the Security Council. To call a meeting. The Secretary General can use this tool to bring to the Security Council's attention any matter that they believe may threaten international peace and security. Article 99 is the only independent political tool given to the Secretary General of the UN in the UN Charter. Secretary General of the UN in the UN Charter. It is the only independent political tool. It, as seen as a discretionary power, means the Secretary General does not need to take any, I would say, recommendations from any body or any person. Can be used by itself. Now, according to the UN, the President of the Security Council is under the obligation to call a meeting of the Council if the Secretary General brings to the attention of the Council any matter under Article 99. So, Security Council is under obligation to call a meeting of the Council. This is to be understood. However, in that Council, resolution for ceasefire or cessation of hostilities can be adopted or cannot be adopted. Has the Article 99 been invoked in the past? Yes, definitely it has been invoked in the past, but it has been rarely invoked. It has been invoked only 4 times in the past. First in Congo, second in East Pakistan, third in Iran, and 4th time in Lebanon. So Iran, there was this crisis when I would say this Iran Shiite movement was there. East Pakistan, formation of, I would say, Bangladesh. Congo, there was crisis in Congo in the 1960s, and Lebanon, 1989, there was this crisis where this the militant outfits and all, they were attacking the Israelis and all. So that happened over there. The article was initially designed as a preventive tool, a bit like warning system. Warning system means if 99 has been invoked, it simply means that we have to stop. It was the assumption. Its use was meant to deter conflicts from escalating. But did it deter conflicts from escalating? Has it brought peace before? This is a big question. The use of Article 99 has had mixed results in the past, though it has never really brought peace. The conflicts watered down, but 100% peace was not restored. That's because the Secretary General's intervention does not fundamentally change the political calculation of Security Council's most powerful members. It is the Secretary General is only calling for a meeting according to the Article 99's invoking. But the calculation of the developed countries or the calculation of the most powerful countries who are directly or indirectly involved in the conflict, that remains the same. It is not deterred, or it is not, I would say, impacted by invoking of Article 99. And that is why it has never really brought peace. Again, the big question is that can Article 99 end this conflict? Article 99 gives powers to the Secretary General to call a meeting for the Security Council to discuss this important issue. It does not give Secretary General any powers to force the Security Council to adopt a resolution. The Secretary General cannot force the Security Council to adopt any resolution. It will be only, you know, forcing a discussion to happen. The Secretary General can only force a discussion to happen because, according to Article 99, this is mandatory for Security Council to have a discussion. But, because of the veto power, the only way Security Council can adopt substantive resolution on this issue is for each of the 5 permanent members to choose not to veto it. Then only it will be adopted. And a resolution needs at least 9 votes in favor and no vetoes by the permanent 5 members to be adopted. See, there are totally 15 members in the United Nations Security Council. Out of 15, 5 are permanent and 10 are non-permanent. So out of 15, at least 9 votes are needed. And second condition is none of the 5 permanent members are vetoing this resolution. Then only this resolution will be adopted after discussion. Getting or forcing the adoption of this resolution is not in the hands of the Secretary General. So can Article 99 end this conflict? It is, depending upon these 2 conditions. No country vetoes it, no permanent member vetoes it, and at least 9 votes are voted in favor of that resolution. So this was Article 19, which we had to discuss again with a very pressing issue, that is Israel-Gaza conflict. So this is it from today's session. I will now be meeting you tomorrow with more such informative news pieces. Till then, you guys very well know what to do. Keep studying, keep reading, keep writing, and most importantly, keep revising. Namaste. Jai Hind.